The conversation was interesting. We also did a very interesting video called, a DVD called Mind Meld together, which was with...
I saw that.
You did, yeah. So that's where you got the idea that we should do a sitcom.
Plus, like, in your performance in the Dragon Con convention back in September.
Yeah. Were you there?
No, but I saw a video on YouTube.
Oh, the video, yeah. Yeah. The first thing I said to him when we came out together to do our panel, the very first thing I said to him was, have you seen any good movies lately? Obviously, I was referring to the fact that he has not seen the Star Trek movie. Now, he may have seen it since then, I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks. But he had not seen it. And we had a good time together. We really didn't we? Yeah. Yes. You sound kind of tender. Are you not sure that we had a good time? Yeah. Did I say something wrong? Anyway, I think it's an interesting idea. I think he's too busy. I think he's too busy. He's got so much to do. He's got Priceline to do, and he's got Broadway to do, and he's got convention appearances to do, and he's got his horses that take up a lot of time. And I think he's too busy. But I'll ask him if he would be interested. And I'll tell him maybe that there's a couple of people who'd like to see that. Thank you. Yes, hi. What a great hat you're wearing.
Thank you. Well, first of all...
What is that all about, that hat?
Oh, well, there's a costume contest after this, so... but, yeah. First of all, thank you for singing that song. My friend who's I'm here with, she can't be in here because she somehow didn't get her pass, made me promise up and down that I wouldn't ask anything about that song, so we gotta take care of it. But secondly, I'm on a bit of a mission.
Did you have a bet on it?
No.
I was hoping maybe we could make some money together here. Okay.
It's a song that I knew, and I've been, every time we're stuck in a line, I've just been like, it'll go. It's just like, shut up. Secondly, I got an autograph from you earlier, and I keep getting ripped because I kind of froze up, and I was on a mission from my mom to let you know that she has been a fan of yours since she first saw you on TV.
Where is your mom?
She's in Boston Spa, New York, just south of Saratoga Springs.
Okay.
Where the horses are.
Well, you be sure to say hello to her for me.
Okay.
And tell her that we wish that she had been here to hear me sing Go Go Back. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Nimoy.
Good.
First of all, I just want to say that I've been a fan of Star Trek, and I've been a fan of yours ever since I was a young kid and watching the large sci-fi block on one of the local stations.
Uh-huh.
I just have a question for you. Was there ever a single film or play that inspired you to become an actor, that made you say, I want to do this with my life?
Thank you. Yeah, as a matter of fact, there was. I started, I think I mentioned earlier, I was on stage by the time I was 8 years old at the Peabody House, the Peabody Playhouse. Around 1946 or 47, there was a production of a play called Awake and Sing by a playwright named Clifford Odets. Odets was a very successful playwright in the 30s and 40s. At one time, he had 3 plays running simultaneously on Broadway. And Awake and Sing was a play that was about a Jewish family in the Bronx, 3 generations living in one apartment together. And I played the young guy in that family. And the play was very much like what was going on in my own family. We were 3 generations living here in Boston. My grandparents, my parents, and my brother and I all in a 2-bedroom apartment. And the dynamic of that life and what that young guy that I was portraying was going through was exactly what I was going through. How do you find the right job for yourself? How do you get out of this kind of environment? How do you find out what's right for you to do in the world? How do you find the right person to have a relationship with, if you get married or whatever? And I identified with it so strongly that I thought, if I could do this kind of work that touches audiences about themselves, about their own lives, for the rest of my life, I would consider that to be a blessed thing. And that's the play that made me decide that I wanted to be an actor. And as a matter of fact, there was another Odets play in town at the Wilbur Theater that was on its way to Broadway. It was called The Big Knife. And a couple of the people from that cast came to see us because they had been in the original production of Awake and Sing. The next morning, I called around the hotels around Boston to see if I could find any one of those actors. And I got hold of an actor named J. Edward Bromberg at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Got him on the phone. I said, I played Ralphie in the play you saw last night. He said, oh yeah, very good, yeah, thank you. And what can I do for you? And I said, I want to be an actor. I want to be a professional actor. What should I do? And he's the one who said, go to the Pasadena Playhouse in California. They have good classes there, and you might get picked up for a contract by a studio or get yourself in movies or TV or whatever. And that's how the whole thing started. So it all started because of that production of Awake and Sing at the Beauty Playhouse. Thanks for your question.
No, thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Steve.
Yeah, I'm well, thank you.
30 years ago, I had an incident that occurred, and I promised myself if I ever had the chance, I'd let you know about it. I was a young Green second lieutenant at Fort Dix in the U.S. Army. One day, I was showing recruits how to take apart a pt04 field radio, and I was having a devil of a time doing it. We had a really mean company commander, and the commander comes over, the captain comes over, he says, "What's wrong here, Lieutenant?" And I was just so frustrated, I looked up at him and I said, "Captain, I am attempting to fix a PR-77 field radio using only knives and bearskin." The punchline is, this mean captain comes up to me, much to my surprise, leans into my ear and says, "Cut out the BS, Mr. Spock, and fix it." Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you. Thank you. It was a great line by a wonderful writer named Harlan Ellison. Yes. I think the episode was City on the Edge of Forever. Number 28. City on the Edge of Forever, yes. Thank you very much. Harlan Ellison gave us a wonderful script. Yes, thank you. Yes, go ahead.
First of all, welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're glad to have you back. I drove 8 miles north of here.
Thank you.
Yeah. You were talking about how busy William Shatner is, but frankly, you seem just as busy to me. And you do so many things, and you act, and you do the writing, and you do photography, and you still find the time to come to these conventions and meet hundreds of people and everything. And it's a real inspiration to anyone who wants to work in the arts to show that you can still do all these different things and still be good at what you do. And I was wondering if you had any, insight into how you handle that and how you make it work.
Wow, what a big question. Are you hoping to have a career in the arts?
I want to be a writer.
You want to be a writer? Are you writing?
Yes.
What do you write?
Right now I'm working on short stories.
Short stories?
Mm-hmm.
Are you studying somewhere?
Well, I'm studying at Keene State College in New Hampshire.
In where?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And are you studying writing?
No, I'm studying for something that will hopefully pay.
I'm going to tell you a couple of stories that might be useful to you. When I told my dad I was going to be an actor, he said to me, my dad grew up in Russia and came over here as an immigrant and worked very, very hard. He was a hard-working, very uncomplicated guy. He was a barber all his life, stood on his feet and cut hair, 8, 10, 12 hours a day to support a family. And he was really unsophisticated. He had no idea how a person could make a living as an actor. And I said, I want to be an actor, Dad. He said, you're going to be hanging around with gypsies and vagabonds. That was his experience in the old country, in Russia. And then he said, he gave the only advice my dad ever gave me. He said, learn to play the accordion. He said, you can always make a living with an accordion. You can play weddings, you can play parties, you can play bar mitzvahs. I said, okay, Dad. I never did. I stuck to what I did, but I worked at a lot of other jobs to support myself while I was trying to develop a career as an actor. And in 1956, I was just out of the Army, and while I was in the Army, stationed in Atlanta, Georgia, my daughter Julie was born, and by the time we came out, my son Adam was expected, and I came back to no career. I'd been in Los Angeles for 4 or 5 years and done a few things, but not enough to have a career to come back to. So I needed to go to work immediately to have some income to support us while I began looking again for acting work. And I took a job driving a taxi in Los Angeles. And I'd been on the job a couple of months when one night I got a call to go to the Hotel Bel Air and pick up Mr. Kennedy. Yeah, wow. So being from here, the Kennedy name meant something to me. Early 1956, it was an election year. There was going to be a presidential election later that year. And I went to the hotel and I told the doorman, I'm here to pick up Mr. Kennedy. He said, okay, I'll let him know. And he came back, I said, he'll be out in a few minutes. I said, do you know if that's the senator from Massachusetts? He said, I don't know. The man came out and I recognized him immediately, and it was Jack Kennedy. And he got in my cab, and he said he wanted to go to the Beverly Hilton Hotel, which is not far, about a 10-minute drive. I said, sure, let's go to drive. And then I said to him, how are things in Massachusetts, Senator? And he got kind of excited because somebody recognized him. It was later that year at the Democratic Convention when he made a speech where he got some national attention for the first time. But in California, nobody knew him. And he was pleased that somebody recognized him. He said, are you from Massachusetts? And I said, yeah. He said, where? I said, Boston. What part of Boston? I said, the inner city, the West End. Only about 3 blocks from where he had his office on, I think it was on Bowden Street or Temple Street. And he said, oh yeah, I know the area very well. I said, what are you doing out here? I said, I'm an actor. So he said, there's a lot of competition in your business. I said, yes. He said, just like mine. And then he said something that stood me in good stead for many, many years, and I'll never forget it. He said, just keep in mind, there's always room for one more good one. Now you might find that useful. I think you should. What that told me was, get to work and improve your skills. Work at it, work at it, work at it. And when the time comes when you have an opportunity to do something, be ready. Know your craft, learn your craft. That's the important thing, okay? That's the best advice I can give you today. Straight from Jack Kennedy to you. Great memories. I'll take one more question, then we're going to have to wrap this up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
No.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I wanted to thank you for being here because it's my first convention ever, and I'm sure to never forget it then.
Great. You came dressed for the occasion.
I did.
All right, good for you. You're in uniform, yeah.
This is kind of off topic, but I wanted to thank you a lot for your active participation in embracing of Judaism because it's very personally affected me and helped me come to terms with my own family history. And it's just meant a lot to me. I don't have a particular question in mind, but I just want to express my gratitude for your photography and a few articles I've read and stuff like that. But it's meant a lot to me.
Good. Bless you. Thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, folks. Sad to say, I have to wrap this up. I cannot tell you what a great pleasure. When I got a phone call that said, would you like to go to do a convention in Boston? And he said, yes, of course. It's one of the things that I look forward to, is coming back here and landing at Logan and driving through the Sumner Tunnel and coming into the city and pointing out to people driving with us. I used to work there and I sold papers here and this is where my brother worked and all that kind of stuff. My brother became a chemical engineer. He got his master's degree at MIT, brilliant scientist. The city was great to us as kids. The museums, the schools, the arts that are available here. As a kid, I went to concerts on the Esplanade. Arthur Peter was conducting, And we'd go there every night during the summer, and we'd be taken to the museums and the theaters. I used to see the plays of the Wilbur and the Colonial.